how'd you get so disciplined? So from the people that have asked me that, this will, kind of address that video. Now, I got a bad habit of saying stuff like, well, most people and y'all, and I don't know everybody, right? So when I used to see that when I was on social media, it used to bother me. Like, somebody would sit into a car and do a whole wrestling promo about everybody, which outside of what we see on social media, we're really not exposed to a lot of people like that. So for the people that have asked me that, right, this will kind of address that. Now, for the people that I've spoken to, they tend to know already. They already they've identified what it is that might be slowing them down. In a lot of cases, when it comes to those people, it's the food. People will tell you that. They'll say, "Man, I get up every day, I work out. Maybe I go to this gym. It's not really crowded during these times. I got something at the crib. I walk every day. I'm doing this, but it's the eating right part." And I can agree. For me, it was the eating right part as an add-on to the drinking. And we know that. And the discipline that people are looking for, it comes from just trying to change that. And for me personally, I can't speak for anybody. Here's the disclaimer. Don't be like Mike. But for me personally, I had started to realize that I was allowing myself to be around people, right, that would slow me up from doing certain things. And then I took what I knew that I should have been doing, because there are things that you should be doing that you will never go against, and I applied that to my health. I'll try to take you there. Now I can get up every day and I can do one of these and I can tell you, what I eat, what workouts that I do, what time I go to the gym, what type of cardio that I do. And people tend to know that already, right? Here's a freebie. I'm not saying use this app right here. This is an oldie but a goodie. I don't even know if it's still free, but I had it on my phone for so long and I used to refer it to people. Because sometimes people, outside of the eating right part, when it comes time to go to the gym, and if they're new to it, they don't know what to do. So an app like iMuscle 2 is you click on the skeletal muscle here, you click on the body part, and it'll give you the primary, secondary, and stretches. So I can give people that. I can tell you what it is that I eat, in a day, and what I do as far as tracking my macros and the vitamins that I take. I can share that all day until I'm blue in the face. But it's up to you if you are disciplined enough to do it. And I'll air quote discipline because I think we all have it to a certain extent. That's just my personal opinion. Like I say, don't be like Mike. But I think it's those things that we know we gotta do. We do. And we will not go against those things. I am a sneakerhead, unfortunately. Because when you're a sneakerhead and you're a garage gym enthusiast, you can go broke. But I know cats that ain't about to crease that Jordan, but will have certain foods on their plate and liquor that is harming them. You disciplined about the shoe, but you're not disciplined about you. That's a rhyme. You can keep that. I mean, we know, like, those of us that really care about this, you got to pay your rent. You got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay your electricity bill. When I was in the Navy, if you're on a ship and you miss ship's movement, universally bad. You know it's bad. That discipline is instilled in your head if you miss ship's movement. As a matter of fact, if you're talking to somebody and it's like, where is such and such? Man, he missed ship's movement. We didn't pull it out, pause, but that's what ships do. They pull out, they pull away from the pier. He didn't miss ship's movement. Everyone's face going to be like this. Yeah, he done. Because there's the discipline of knowing what's going to happen, the consequence when you don't do what you're supposed to do. I took those things. I know what happened if I don't pay my mortgage. I'm not going to be in here cutting these shirtless promos because my house is going to be foreclosed and I'm going to have to sell a lot of this stuff. I take those things I know I need to do and I apply it to my health. And the reason that I do that is because this is the thing that I'm in. When I'm going to get a job and have relationships with people in order to maybe business opportunities or whatever, in order to make money and pay my mortgage, I have to make sure this is good to go. I cannot put that on the lower on the list than those things that I need to do, like creasing my Jordan and I cut hair. I cut my son's hair. I'm a barber, but I know cats that will walk out of the house blood pressure high as heck with a gut, but will not go to a horrible barber. You know, the barber that you walk in there, his chair is open. He got his drop cloth. He's like, come on, man, I got you. He's like trying to get you to go over there. Don't go to him. Don't go to him because there's a reason that he ain't got nobody in his chair. I'm sorry if that offends somebody. So I do those things. I make sure that I do those things, and I just transitioned it. I know that I have to do this. I know what'll happen if I don't do it. I know what'll happen if I get to the point where if it might be an issue with me paying this bill. I know they're gonna cut my lights off. So I gotta make sure that same pain and fear, and I'm just scared of whatever the whole result of it, I gotta make sure that I feel like that about my health. Because the crazy thing is, if you don't pay your light bill, they're gonna cut them lights off. But when you don't take care of your health, you don't know. You don't. Some people be like, man, hey, high blood pressure, man, this is a silent killer. It's not silent. It's loud. It's very loud. Your body is screaming at you in certain ways. You stand up, you're probably dizzy, or you get weird headaches. That's what I used to get. You're probably sweating all the time. Your sleep is all messed up. Your body is telling you, hey, you need to take better care of me. We will ignore that. But if your light gets to flickering before it go off, you knew you didn't pay that bill. So yeah, I apply that same mindset to the things that I know I got to do, man. I know I got to provide for my family. I know I got to pay my bills. I know I got to perform at work, no matter what's going on. Because I know what'll happen if I don't. And I'll switch it over. I know I got to eat right, especially as I get older. I know I got to stretch every morning. I know I got to stay active because for me personally, the more active that I am, the less pain that I'm in. And I got a whole laundry list of injuries. So that's how I do that. That is the same discipline that I know for doing the things for adulting, I do for my fitness, which I consider adulting. You know what I mean? But another thing is just people. People, man. I've learned to let people be people. I have. A lot of people will show you, God, I'm trying to work on that. I say a lot of people. Some people will show you who they are. It's up to you to pay attention to that. Now, I don't think everybody that tries to go against your fitness goals and be a naysayer and a doubter, there's malice behind that. Some people just don't know any better. We know them. They're in our families. We talk to them. You're getting too skinny. That's too low a body fat. But that's all they see because now what we consider normal is not always the best for us. So they think that they're looking out for you for stopping you from doing these things. Or some of them have faced disappointment. They've tried and failed, and they've tried and they quit. And they don't want you to feel like that because they love you. Unfortunately, that's a crazy type of love. I've been waking up early for 19 years. And ever since I stopped drinking, I started eating right, stayed very active. My blood work is very good. It is. I am surprised how good it is considering how it used to be, considering how high my blood pressure used to be. I used to go in there when I was bigger and I would have the white coat effect. So your blood pressure is already high because of your habits. But then when a nurse walk in or a doctor walk in and you got to get your blood pressure drawn, it's going to be higher because now you move, your heart is beating, everything is elevated because your blood pressure is high, and it's going to be higher because you know that they know that it's high. Did I say that right? As early as I wake up for 19 years, you will be surprised how everyone was a social media physician. Man, you waking up that early and this is what's going to happen. And, man, you waking up too early when I just go to bed early. I literally just go to bed early. That is the cheat code. And I don't have any business personally just staying up all crazy late. And for what? Just so I can say that I wake up at this time? So yeah, I wake up early. And I wake up early so I can get a lot of stuff done. Now, some of these people that had told me that thought they were looking out for me. Because there are people that don't get as much shit like sleep as they should. Understandable. Rightfully so. I get it. But you'll be surprised how many people would see that part of whatever I was doing and have something to say about it. Some people will take, the fact that I just don't eat a certain way, and they will take it as like an eating disorder because it is so normal to eat bad. It is. It's normal to eat bad. It's normal to say, okay, I'm going to do a cheat day and I done made 20 steps forward in order to help myself. And then I'm going to take one day and take 30 steps back and then be upset about the 10 I gotta make up when I just say, nah, if I do a refeed day, it's gonna be controlled because I always feel better. But because we're looking at the normal from the people, we'll say, okay, well, you got to have balance. And I say it all the time on these videos for some people you talk to, that balance that they're talking about is just something they haven't been able to give up. You got to have balance, man. You can have a drink every once in a while. Every birthday, every Christmas, I'll have a family member be like, man, this is, instead of saying happy birthday or Merry Christmas, they'll come in, man, take the day off, man. It's your day. It's Christmas. Take the day off from the gym, have some cake. They would rather that than just telling me happy birthday. It happens. And because, like, speaking for myself, I was around people, whether, face to face, physically, virtually, and it's just constant peer pressure. And it's just like so many people are like questioning what I'm doing for me, knowing that it's going to help me and better my situation. It'll have you thinking. It'll have you might fold. Maybe they're right. You know what? I do need to go eat whatever on my birthday when I really know I shouldn't, right? And the thing about people is we don't really, take account for how it's people that can change the whole dynamic of a culture. And right now, the culture is when you eating right, you're dieting. When you're sticking to your workout regimen every day as a discipline, just like when you go to work every day to pay your bills, you're obsessed. It's the people, right? We walk into some of these old buildings that we go to for work. It's asbestos in the walls. It's mold in the walls. The toilet's always broke. But if you work with a good group of people, you ain't notice it. Man, I love this job. You got black lung now. You can spend that. You can have a brand new building. They got the best snacks in the vending machine. They got a gym in there. Everything new, computers, desk. And if you work for horrible people, you're like, man, I hate it here. I need to take my PTO. And then we be like, man, I got to take my PTO. And then you have to go to the doctor because your stress is all messed up. And we're blaming the people when you didn't take care of your health. That one happens too. So I had to acknowledge that discipline for me, like I say, it's just for me, is a discipline. And I had to learn how to take what is important, what I know is important, keeping a roof over our head, keeping my family fed. And I got to apply that same logic, the same semantics, everything to what I need to do for my health, because I'm a better version for that. We know that. This is not some new phenomenon. And I had to learn that it's people that'll throw you off. It's what we see on here. Like I say, I've been saying it a lot. I'm not telling nobody to get off of social media. I just know that I had to. I'm sitting there, I'm taking myself down the rabbit hole of just stuff that I know that I'm going to look at that's going to upset me. That's a heck of a discipline. If I know that I pick up a phone and I look at an app and it's going to upset me, and I just, every day I just do it. And then I'm wondering why I'm in the mood. I had to cut it off. And I had to focus on the things that I know I need to do. And unfortunately, but fortunately, it just happens to be things that some people haven't stuck to yet. 26 years of working out, 46 years old, 47 in October. I will say that all the time because we're living in a climate now to where when you get a certain age, that's it. Check engine light, come on. I can't really stand being around the people that'll be like, when you get my age. Well, I mean, there's people that are your age that are winning, that are in great shape. So I'm supposed to take what you're telling me, right, as gospel? What I learned about me, just as I've gotten older is I can take control of my habits. But it's up to me to do that. It's up to me to identify what the issue is. Now, this is coming from somebody that was in great shape in 2004 to horrible shape in 2007 when I got to Afghanistan in 2008 to where I am now. And I've learned these things, but one thing that I had to just start listening to was when you start doing what you know you need to do, people will openly tell you, and I've said this before, they will openly tell you what they're not going to do, what they're not willing to do, why they're not doing it, and still be upset because they're watching you do it. And then they still got to start funneling, man. You doing that, man, you got to have balance, man. And if you keep doing this is going to happen. And until life happens, until that health starts, those health scares start to come. I don't want to do day ones. I have nothing against anybody that do the day one posts. They're very inspiring for people. I don't have nothing against challenges and stuff like that. You got to start somewhere, right? Why not be with a challenge? I just don't do them. It has nothing to do with why I know that people do them. So yeah, do the challenge. Get a personal trainer. Get a life coach. I'm not a coach. I'm a student success coach for United States Naval Community College, but I'm not a coach. For one, I think in order for me to help somebody, I have to have been through different facets of life, right? I'm that type of person. And I can't even swim. So, hey, 20 years in the Navy, I can't swim. And people be like, man, well, I'm here. I made it, right? I just can't. And my mindset was if the ship is sinking, I'm probably done anyway. I seen Titanic and I've seen other movies like that. But if it has anything to do with water, I can't help you. How can I be your coach in life and you live on a boat? I'm not coming out there. We're going to have to do everything via text. So, yeah, I went on a tangent there, but there are like blueprints to everything we need to do. It's just up to you if you want to do it. And the craziest part is there could be a blueprint out there for you. And because we are a part of communities of people saying that something ain't possible, you ever see that's one thing I saw on social media that used to get to me. Be like, comment down below if you ran into this problem. And everybody's commenting with the problem and why they're going through the problem. And there's no solution. And if you come in there and you got a solution, it will get attacked. Must be nice. Lucky you. That's a culture. And unfortunately, even though people are being open about the problem, as soon as you have a solution, even though that solution might not work for everybody in those comments, it becomes a problem. And that becomes normal to where we'll just stay in these spaces. I didn't want to stay in the space that I was in. And I know life is not perfect. It may never be to the level that I want it to be. I want to just be able to pull millions out of my pocket, right? I want a whole 2,000 square foot warehouse gym. You know what I mean? But I'm happy with what I've worked hard for. It's not pause. I'm happy with what I worked hard for. So how did I get so disciplined? For one, I focus. I pay attention. I'm very observant. If you've ever been out around me, I'm quiet. Outside of these vlogs, I'm paying attention, man. I'm picking up a vibe, right? Another thing that I do is I got to know that you've done it. You stuck with it before I listen to you. That don't mean we can't be cool and we can't be friends. But what I'm trying to do requires sustainability. So I can't listen to you. Because sometimes people will tell you something that somebody told them, that they told them. Like, you ever talk to somebody and they'll be like, man, I heard that this ain't possible. Who you hear from? They don't know. They just heard it probably somewhere on social media. Or they said that if you do this will happen. Who's they? The Smurfs? Who? Because if you heard it from somebody and they said it, introduce me to that person so I can get more details about why it might not be possible. But we'll hear the they and what we heard, and we're already scared to do it. We was already on the fence. Next thing you know, we ain't gonna do it. We done. And then we'll get about a week and your subconscious tell you want to do it. And then you back to, announcing it on social media that you about to do it, but the behavioral change part has not happened. So I work on that. That is something that I do. I can give you all the logistics behind eating right and stuff like that, but it's all over social media. Calorie deficit, body weight and protein. I'm low carb, not for body composition. Don't come for me in the comments. I just do it for information. And mentally, it just makes me feel better. I'm pretty sure you need carbs for your energy and stuff like that. I do an 18-6 cycle fast. So I'm fasting for about 18 hours. Is it 18-6? Is it 16-8? 16-8. So I fast for about 16 hours and I eat within an 8-hour window. You don't have to do that. I just happen to feel better for doing these things. And because I feel better for doing them, I'm more prone to stick to them. And it has allowed me to for all these years. I said before, confidence comes from proof. It comes from your ability to get up and you do these things even when you don't feel like it. and you prove to yourself that it can be done. And hopefully you're willing to share that with somebody. Well, man, it'll be now, as soon as you say that you did something, it gotta be a shortcut. You gotta have an advantage, right? And we will just disregard all the time of working out for 26 years and having my credentials. And in order to sustain my fitness and nutrition and wellness credentials, I have to keep learning. I have to do CEUs, right? But that's just how it is, because we'll get so down on ourselves for not doing what we know we want to do. And it's easy to look at somebody, especially on social media, and see them in the spot that we want and place the advantage on them. You place the advantage on somebody, and you'll tell yourself, why, you ever talk to somebody and, maybe they were in shape and then they fell off. You be like, what happened? If you me, I'm gonna be like, I was eating like a bear in the woods, like a garbage disposal. I was drinking like a fish. I wasn't making the right decisions for myself. Some people, you talk to them and they'll be like, man, I went through this divorce and, work got tough and stressful and school was just very difficult. Just because those things was going on doesn't mean I got to eat bad. Doesn't mean I got to stop working out. The intensity of the workout might change because of how busy you are. Go for a walk. Do some push-ups. Do the butterfly, man, and then see if your heart rate get up. But you stop doing the things you know you're supposed to do. And that offends people, and I'm sorry. A friend of mine, about 3 months ago, we were talking, and we were in the Navy, and when we were stationed at Balboa Hospital, real good group of people, man. We used to have so much fun there. Plus, there's a lot of chicks there, man. If you know, you know. But, sorry. And these two dudes were very big. And one of them died, but they were good friends. And when I had got stationed in Virginia, one of them had rode with me. He drove. He was from North Carolina. He said, man, I'll ride with you. And I'm glad he did, because I can't drive an hour without wanting to pull over and get a hotel and rest. I hate driving, right? So he drove most of the time, and the cash that I had, I gave him. And it was crazy. We driving, we taking all these energy shots and stuff like that, man. We arguing with each other, but he was a close friend. He later died. So I was talking to this other friend those few months ago, and we were talking about that. And I said, man, that happened, but at the same time, we saw, how they used to live. Now, one of them, he's lost a lot of weight, maybe because of what happened, because they were like real close. The two big dudes were like real close. And I was just like, we know, we saw it. We used to enable it sometime. Like, we would be at Balboa Hospital, and instead of going to the galley, we would go to one of the fast food spots, get some of the Mandarin chicken wing. You know anything about San Diego, right? I was like, so we kind of saw it. We saw how he was living. And then the other homeboy said, hey, man, well, I had a little stroke not too long ago. And I said, what? He said, man, I said, little stroke. Like, a stroke is little stroke, right? You can have a little headache, something like that. Little bit of hypertension, maybe. Stroke is, you could have lost your faculties, half of your faculties. And I said, well, what happened? Because me and him used to play basketball, and we used to run them streets. He said, man, you know how it is, man. Work picked up. I started going back to school. What? What? I did too. I didn't make the worst decisions possible, right? You got a family. You got the kids. I was upset. I am still kind of upset about that. So yeah, you talk to some people, and when you talk about why you fell off, the ownership hasn't happened yet. I'm not saying it won't, but you got to be willing to take that ownership quick. And I said on yesterday's video, I did that. You got to be willing to say that so you can try to resolve it and move on from it. Yeah, another thing is I was making myself lose so much that I wanted to win. I was just tired. I was tired of the reflection I saw in the mirror. I was tired of when I was bigger, the whole manipulation game that I was playing. I know I'm not within weight standards in the Navy, but my job as a ship serviceman, now retail specialist, I could cut hair. I could provide you with, you can come down and wash your laundry on the ship, because I know you're going to manipulate my score. And I would become the most strategy-driven person when it comes to me falsifying this number instead of just taking that same strategy and that drive and just doing what I know I need to do. So I know there's a version of me that can actually get this stuff done, but nah, because that means I got to give up what I know I shouldn't have had, going on in my life in the first place. But yeah, I had to start winning. And I learned that when you start winning for you, you will solve a lot of your problems, but some of those problems are unfortunately solved. Like that, you got people around you, when you start doing what's best for you, they want no part of that. And these are people that you are probably close with. You guys have history together. What about you changing has bothered them? I'll tell you what, that icon that I mentioned before, they don't want to see that. And instead of looking at it as inspiration, it's like a shot in the foot. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Who do you think you are? You're getting too big for your britches. Until they won't in. Now, I can tell you, being off social media, my phone ain't never been less dry. People reaching out and, man, everything good? How you been? I'm good. What's up? I'm just checking in on you, but hey, man, you got a meal plan? And I got you. Here you go. I do it even like with these YouTube videos. If I see it and it don't end up in some weird folder, I'm gonna give you everything, the information that I got. But when you get yourself together, you'll start seeing that. You'll start seeing how a lot of these people around you probably shouldn't have had in the first place. And at least until they get their stuff together, always leave the door open to help people. But I was there too. That's why I don't just completely shut the door and be like, screw these folks. I'm just not around you, like physically. Here's one that just throws people completely off because they haven't gotten there. You can actually, put yourself such in a mental stupor of just doing the things that you know you shouldn't do, that you think is just normal. You won't even have a vision to see past this wall of what's possible and why people are doing it. I can tell you, as somebody that don't eat like I used to eat, I no longer even desire any of those delectable treats because my body will reject it. I eat it, I'm all lethargic and sluggish afterwards. I regret eating it, chasing the first 5 seconds of dopamine. But before I got to that point to where my body no longer even can handle whatever that crap food and that alcohol did to me, it was a wall. It was a wall that I could not get past, and I cannot see how people got past it. And if I was able to kind of creep over and look at the wall, they're obsessed. They're doing too much. And I would come back down under that wall and be upset with whoever else, because I wasn't blaming myself at the time. It was crazy. So yeah, personal opinion, I think we all have discipline. It's just a matter of where you point it, where you point your discipline at. So I urge you, think about something that you know you're gonna do, and you know it's the worst. you know. I know people that will, if it's like a newer restaurant, like in the Navy, you have people that came to Cali, but they was from the East Coast, the South. But there will be a restaurant that franchise out here, but it ain't really in San Diego. It's like in Temecula. I'm just making a hypothetical weird example. Temecula is like an hour and a half away. And this restaurant opens on this day. They gon' go to that restaurant. They gonna make that drive. They gonna plan it out. But when it come to the workout, man, I can't go. It might be a little bit of drizzle outside, and I can't go, man. It's raining. You going in the gym. You getting a little bit of that drizzle to walk to your car. Go to the gym. The biggest oxymoron is the birthdays. We don't know how long we're going to be here, right? You don't know how long, like you don't know. Not to sound all morbid, but it ain't like you were born and there's a chip in there and the chip tells you the expiration date. It's not like a card. So we don't know how long we're going to be here, but we want to celebrate these birthdays. Our birthday is another year of our life, of our time here. Yet we have the worst habits sometimes. When it comes to that, it can shorten that time frame. But that birthday party, hear me out here, we planned for that. I remember, man, it was my birthday, like my 21st birthday. I remember we went to San Francisco for Fleet Week. I'm in that thing, man. That's how I used to be getting it. We planned it for my 22nd. On my birthday for the 21st. That's a year later. Do you know how much work I could do physically, school-wise in a whole year? It took me less than a year to get 3 associate's degrees because of the stuff that I had from the military. It was a little different back then. So we know our birthdays. We know what we need to do to try to live longer. Even though there's the unforeseen time, we will speed up, because of our habits to that unforeseen time. But when it comes to the celebration, we celebratory, it's the bad stuff. And it's a very dangerous thing. And I always tell people, be careful of that nucleus of bad stuff, of the alcohol and the bad food, because if you're using it to cope, if you're using it to numb the pain, but you're also using it to celebrate, it probably ain't the best for you. So discipline. We all have it. Where are you pointing it? And when you start pointing it in the right direction, keep doing that. Keep doing that. People won't in on that. Believe it or not, it might just offend them at first. Point your discipline in the right direction.